establish that ancient view and improve ourselves. In most cultures, the work is against what the culture conceives as good thing. The way most of the cultures conceive the work is as a curse, and it should be avoided at all costs. If that is the case, then really it is very difficult to find joy at the workplace. So it is very essential that this ethos, which some of the cultures in the world have found out, they should be removed and they should be replaced with right measure. Work acquired poor reputation because you will find that most of the great monuments in the civilized world, Taj Mahal, Great Wall of China, or palaces, dams of antiquity, they were the dreams of the rulers, and the people who were working to build Taj Mahal or all these things, their emotions were never respected. So they were working for the ruler. So most of the people who were working for such thing, they could not find joy in the work because the joy was reserved only for the people who were giving the money. In today's world, this is not the case. You will find that most of the corporate people, companies are finding that the workplace should become a place of enjoyment. In many of the companies, there is room for resting. There are gyms available for the people to work out when they feel that they are bored with the work. Good food is given to them. So this restructuring of the work is going to help us to keep working joyfully. So it is very essential that when we are entering the work life, we should take the right cues and try to see that collectively we are working joyfully. Then only we can put all our energies in the work and benefit in the maximum manner. Not surprisingly, work acquired a rather poor reputation because most of the time majority of the workers were working for the fulfillment of the rulers or the owners of the factory, and their enjoyment was not given due attention. That is the reason the prejudice against work exists. The work is the most enjoyable part. It is evident that, see, I cannot get my 2 square meals without work. Then how work cannot be enjoyable? You will find that in most of the human history, people were working. It is not that they were not working, but they were not in greed of material wealth. So they were able to balance their work life and non-work life. So it is very important that we need to rebalance it again so that we enjoy our work life along with our other life, other non-work life, that is family and society. There is ample evidence that work can be enjoyable. Indeed, it is often the most enjoyable part of the life. You will find that in Indian tradition, Sant Gora Kumbhar, Sautamali, Sant Kabir, they were all the time working. Many times they did not visit the temples. So Sautamali was working in his farm. He was helping the people who were going to and fro to Pandharpur, and he was finding joy in his work, and he had all the grace of the God. So it is very important that if we understand karme ishu bhatava, whatever the work that we are doing, if we are doing it properly, you yourself are getting benefited by it, and the people around you are benefited by it. You are not trying to exploit the efforts of the other people. Every person who is working is getting his or her due share in the profit. Then the work will definitely be enjoyable. It is possible to convert the work into an enjoyable exercise. Work can be described in 3 ways. Work can be considered as a job, it can be considered as a career, or it can be considered as a calling. It is very important that we should be able to convert the work as a calling. A job is mostly pursued as a core, with the focus being on the financial rewards rather than the personal fulfillment. Because I want to get 2 square meal every day, so unless I work, I cannot get it. So that becomes a job. The person goes to the work in the morning primarily because he or she feels that he has to go. He is not going there because he wants to go. If every person is going to his work because he wants to go, then automatically the possibility that the workplace will become a calling and an enjoyable place is more. It is very important that we should be able to do. See, when I began my career as a teacher, I was working for the job. For a long time, that was the case. Slowly, I found that, see, the everyday anxiety of going into the class is not giving me the good experiences in life. Why I should not change that in such a way that I should go to the class joyfully and come out of the class joyfully. I worked on it for a year or two. Then I found that the anxiety that I used to get in the class when I was going in the class was over. While delivering also, there was no anxiety. Slowly, after making some effort, I found that not only that the anxiety is gone, but I can give it joyfully. So if I am giving it joyfully, students are also helping me in my work. They are coming out very openly with their problems. The overall place is becoming a joyful place. So I feel that many times today when I go to the class and come out of the class as if I have made no effort at all. Though I am exerting, I am speaking for 40-50 minutes is not a very easy job. But if you are not exhausting after speaking of 40-50 minutes and you are feeling as if that was effortless, I think that is what is as calling. I think one can convert any job into a calling if or she wants to by proper thinking and making some changes. It is essential that the elements of the flow should be included. Unless and until we do that, it will not be possible. Work is a calling. For a person experiencing his work as a calling, work is an end in itself. When you are able to do the work very properly, that is an end itself. What reward you are getting? Most of the people who are working very properly consider that is their calling. It also means that they are getting paid for the work. Though they are not interested, the pay automatically, whatever the payment for the work will be there, that will be available. So both the benefits, that means the mutual exclusiveness will go, and you will find that you can enjoy the work along with the material prosperity that you get. While the paycheck is important, the advancement, promotion are also important, but the person who is going to work is primarily going for what he wants to do. He is motivated by intrinsic reason, experiences, sense of personal fulfillment, and his goals are self-concordant. It is possible that we slowly can convert a job into a calling by making self-concordant goals, finding out the ways of attaining those goals and changing our work style so that we can make a job into a calling. So it is possible to derive personal fulfillment. He is passionate. The person who is working as his calling is passionate about what he does, derives personal fulfillment from his work. He perceives it as a privilege rather than a chance. See, teaching to the students is a privilege. Everybody cannot get that. And most of the time when I see the spark in the eyes of the student in the class, I really get joy. So that is the ultimate currency that every teacher wants. It is giving you the personal fulfillment. I feel that everybody who undertakes any work of his or her choice can find out the elements which give him the ultimate currency. And if you incorporate that ultimate currency in the workplace, then work will be joyful. Along with that, the people who are around him, the people for which you are working, they also will find that the workplace is a very good place. Here I ask you to do an exercise, small exercise. Do you see your job as a work, a career, or a calling? See, try to find out the elements. See, I described job, I described a career. Career is rat racers type. Job means you are continuing with what you want to do because you want pay packet. And calling means you are getting the paycheck when you are doing. It is not that sometimes the amount of paycheck may go a little lower. But if overall currency, that is ultimate currency is more, well-being is more, then that will become a calling. And you will find that most of the successful people in the initial part of their career chose to what finds interesting to their perceptions. So they could continue to work joyfully for very long times, and finally in the end, initially though they were not very high, materially very well off, but in the final analysis they were not only good in ultimate currency, they were materially also successful. You will find umpteen such examples around you. It is very important to find one's calling, and we can do an effort to make it. It takes conscious and concerted effort to find our calling. We are usually encouraged to pursue what we do rather than what we want to do. So this, what well we can do and what we want to do. If I am thinking, I am trying to find out, see, I want to do this, but if I do this, see, I'm not really not passionately attached to this work, but see, I can do this nicely because currently my skill levels are good. Now see, the work that you are doing, you are not able to find right emotion to attach with that work, whereas the work you are not skilled at, you want to do because you did not acquire the skills to do that work. So it is better that you acquire the skills. If possible, change the track. You will find many people change their track. One becomes doctor and then become an IS officer because he would like to serve maximum people. One becomes engineer and then becomes an IS officer. Such instances are happening. The people who are able to find their calling, they are enjoying their workplace. Even in companies, you will find that software, hardware, in case of IT companies. Even in mechanical engineering, you will find that some people would like to work in software, mingle with the people, whereas some people are interested only doing design work. So this want to, and what well I can do, if I am able to resolve the conflict, that will really give me a very enjoyable experience. We are usually encouraged to pursue what we do well rather than what we want to do. So we have to do conscious effort to see to it that we should do what we want to do. Most career advisors and job placement tests, for example, focus on strengths rather than our passions. And finding calling definitely relates to passions. If we are giving right emphasis on passion along with whatever our strengths are, then we can make the work that we are doing as a calling. First, identify what gives us meaning and pleasure. It is very important that, and it may not be same for everybody. See, then ask the question, what I am good at, what I can do. We give priority to quantifiable currencies, that is money and approval of others. Instead of that, you try to give here the weight to what you want to do, so that in the long run, you will find that going to work is always joyful. If you are giving importance only to money and approval of others, you may not be able to find your calling. So, when we asked what do I want to do, the choice is driven by the pursuit of ultimate currency, and that is what leads to finding your calling. Finding right work is challenging. Right work corresponds to both our passions as well as to our strength. It is very important that we must know our strength, and many times our perception deceive us in giving the feedback. I will ask every student to go to the non-profit site authentichappiness.org. Virtues in Action questionnaire is there. If you answer the questionnaire, you will find that your 24 characteristics according to the priority are given. With that, now you attach passion. What is interesting to you is known. And if you find that what comes as the result is not at the right moment, then you can repeat this exercise. It is possible that I know my strength, then I associate my strengths with the right passions, so that the work that I do every day is meaningful, joyful. This meaning, pleasure and strength process is essential. We must ask three questions. What gives me meaning? What gives me pleasure? What are my strengths? Looking at the answers and identifying areas of overlap help us determining what kind of work would make us happier. So every person, and this is unique to every person, it is really very difficult to find out, even for the counselor or even for your parents, to what is correct for you. See, a father learns four-wheeler. It does not mean the child will gain the skills. When the child grows up, he becomes 18, he has to again learn it. So this is a unique process. So we have to find joy in whatever we do. Work is one such place. See, Or if we are in family, we should be able to find joy. If we are in our social circles, we should be able to find work. If we are in educational institutions, we should find joy. And our workplace also, we should find joy. And these are all not mutually exclusive. There are overlaps. If I am exploiting overlaps in the right manner, it is possible that I can attach right passions and I can get the ultimate currency, that is well-being in proper measure, so that I along with all others will be really very happy. So it is very important to find the sweet spot between meaning, pleasure and strength process, which gives me my calling. So that is where the calling lies. It is very easy to find out if one does it consciously. But if one is not making effort, it is really very difficult to find out. He may not find out in very long run as well. We often fail to understand the rich sources of pleasure and meaning in our work. The potential for happiness all the time is there around us. So if we have to exploit that potential and turn that into reality. Unless, see, there is a very good flower, I go to the workplace and come back and never look at the flower, then that is not for me. Unless I take time, so this is my workplace and the gardener in the workplace is tending the garden very nicely. So I look at the flower and appreciate the gardener for his tending garden. So it will be very good for everybody. Definitely, even the gardener will be happy, you also will be happy. So such elements of happiness or well-being are required at every place. To turn a possibility into reality, we first need to realize that the possibility exists. In the example that I have given, that the good flower is there, the workplace is there, you are going to the workplace and returning from the workplace. The possibility of appreciation of beauty is there. If one is not finding it, then you cannot say that there was no opportunity for finding the appreciation of the beauty. But you were not able to take it. So we need to consciously look around and see that the workplace at which we are working is joyful to yourself, to the people around you, as well as the people who are visiting at the workplace. The meaning, pleasure and strength process is very important. Happiness is not merely contingent on what we do, where we are, but what we choose to pursue. Because I chosen to perceive that a good flower is tended by the gardener, then only I can get it. A change of focus can make a significant difference. We can find the treasure by focusing on it. Many times the work is not interesting, but if you change the focus, the same work becomes very interesting. The drudgery will go away and you will be able to attach right emotions with the work. So rearing children at home is really not very easy task, but parents take it as a challenge and they do it, and there is meaning, there is purpose, and strength is there. Either mother or father is catering to the needs of the rich and satisfying social relationships are essential for living happily. So we need to intentionally cultivate this rich and satisfying social relationship by seeing the opportunities around us, and we need to include activities so that those opportunities are converted into real events. Having people about whom we care, who care about us, to share our lives with intensifies our experience of meaning, consoles our pain, deepens our sense of delight in the world. See, joy is to be shared. If you are alone, you can never feel full joy. When you share your joy with your friends, the joy increases. And you will find that if you are sharing your pain with a friend who really cares for you, automatically the pain decreases. So this is a very good built-in process in all human beings. We must be able to derive maximum advantage of this. There are few stronger predictions of happiness than a close, nurturing, equitable and intimate lifelong companionship with one's friend. If only one friend you can acquire over your life, then that is very good. That is very satisfying for the life. So it is very important that at least few friends should be there in your life. Talking about love is simply as a feeling, as an emotion or a state independent of reason is reductive. See, it is having all the components in it. Love cannot last without a rational foundation. Strong feelings in and of themselves are insufficient to sustain the love. The love should be there on the rational foundation. It should not be on the lust. Then only it will be lasting. If it is really love that we do feel it for some reason, but we may not be consciously aware of it. The reason might not be conscious. So we need to see that and examine ourselves. The core of the self, the core self comprises our deepest and most stable characteristics, and that is why it's called as character. You will find that Swami Vivekananda always give maximum emphasis on the character. So this is the reason that once the character is well, you can ensure that the people around him are well. He can manage even with the bad people as well. So it is possible that one enjoys the work by changing his behavior and helping others to change the behavior at the workplace. After all, making the workplace enjoyable is the responsibility of all the people who assemble at the workplace. And why one should not put his 100% to make that? Because everybody, when he or she spends 8 hours or more at the workplace, that time should be a happy place. It should be conducive to the well-being of all the people at the workplace. So it is possible to convert that. If every person at the workplace is having good character, it means his core is of all good values, then it is very easy to convert the workplace into a joyful place. So working joyfully then becomes really very easy. So it is my suggestion to all that it is very important that we all work on own character. Once we are working on our character, we can help others at the workplace to work on their characters. And all of us together can make every workplace an enjoyable place. Thank you.